Hello and welcome back. Well, here I have yet another Pac-Man PCB. This one is a mispack. Just got this one hooked up on the bench. We're going to plug it in. I'm using my black and white monitor. We're going to plug it in and see what we get. Oh, it's booting. It boots with lines. Huh. Okay. All right, well, that shouldn't be too big of a deal. I mean, it's working, other than looks like maybe video RAM, color RAM, something goofy on one of the RAMs. Yeah, so I'll look into that, and I don't even think I have to put the fluke on it. It's either I think it's a video RAM, which video RAM I believe is 4N and 4K. These two right here, I think. One of these. So I'm just going to turn it off and swap these around. Okay, I replaced 4N with a new RAM. So let's plug it in and see what happens. Same thing. Okay, so let's, the one, I took both of them out, so I'll take this one and put it back in there. Yeah, so after swapping a few RAMs around, it's not an easy thing. It's running. And it's got the fast Miss Pac-Man ROM. I'm gonna see if the sound works. I got my little pointer thingy here. Let's coin it up and start. There is no sound. Sound don't work. And I think the oh. I do not have the speaker hooked up. Duh. Give me 1 second. I'm going to hook this up and I'll be right back. Okay, I now have the speaker hooked up. So let's go ahead and coin it up again. Oh, yep, sound works. Sound works and sounds perfect. Okay, well, that's good. We have sound, we have the game working. It's just got little video problems. So what I am going to do, this isn't an issue for the fluke, because the fluke's going to tell me this RAM is all good. But I'll do it just for giggles. I'm going to throw the fluke on and go through these RAMs. I know I got to replace sockets. That's really what I should do first, is just replace sockets. I mean, this could just be a socket issue. Alrighty. Yeah, I think first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to replace the ROM sockets. And That'll be a good place to start. All right, let me get to that. Okay, I was just getting ready to tear this apart, and I notice this has machine tool sockets in it, right, for the program ROMs. These don't. These are old. That's awesome. I don't have to do those. And these sockets underneath these are nice dual wipe sockets. The bad thing is they don't have a socket underneath them. They're plugged directly into that socket, so I mean it's not that big of a deal. It's just I don't like it, but okay. So yeah, I don't have to mess with those, and I'll mess with these later. I guess what I can start doing is probing around and seeing if there's any in the video section. What is that? There's just something soldered to that leg. That's a RAM. Oh no, that's a 157. It's a mux in the sound section, so. A couple machine pin sockets here and one here. So this has had some work done to it. These two are machine pin sockets. That's kind of cool. I haven't looked at the back side of this board to see what it looks like. But yeah. We have a video problem, so it's going to be over here, whatever it is. But it should not be too hard to remedy. Okay, I've just decided to go ahead and clean this board up. Like I said, it's got nice, the CPU socket as well. And there are dual wipe sockets in the 28 pin addresser sockets. I'm going to replace these two, the 240 pin and the three ROM sockets here and the 2 ROM sockets here. I'll replace those. And then we'll be ready to get to work on that video section. All right. Okay, I just got done washing the board and it's come out really nice. I also washed the auxiliary board. It's just nice and shiny. Beautiful. Now this board on the back side does have one wire. Obviously there was a broken trace. But that's it. Just the one wire. But it's a pretty nice board. Not bad at all. Nice and clean now. Okay, now I can go ahead and replace these sockets. Those 5 sockets and these 2 sockets I'm going to replace. And then we'll start troubleshooting. Okay, I just finished the desoldering. There's the auxiliary board and the 2 ROM sockets on the main board. Now I'll go ahead and put new sockets in it. There's the pile of junk. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and put new sockets in it. Okay, soldering work is all done. Got your new sockets in the auxiliary board and the two new character ROM sockets. So now we're ready to go troubleshooting. Debug this video section. Just a little bit on how counters work. I'm doing some troubleshooting now. I got it put back together. And I'm checking the count. It's basically the address for these 4 RAM. I'm just making sure that the address is the count from these 2 counters right here are okay. And how I look at counters, you look at pin 9, which is the load. And yeah, you see how it's got a bunch of little pulses, but it's got a big block there where it's high. So it'll only count freely when pin 9 is high. So when you look at this, that you can't really tell, but yeah, you can't tell. And you still can't tell. You see how you can kind of see those divisions where the load was high. See the divisions where the load's high? The load pin is high, you get those little divisions where it counts, and then it resets basically when it loads a new value into the counter to start counting it. Let me back it off a little bit. Okay, there's pin 9. Oh, I wish this would... It's hard to do with one hand. But you can dial it in with one, you know. It's got the same... This is the other counter. Okay. Let me clip to them. Let me clip to these things and put this on my probe. Okay. This is the load pin. You see where it's high? That's when the counter will count regularly. So we'll go to the highest, or the least, I'm sorry, significant bit of this count, which is right here. And you can't really see it, but there's divisions in there where that is high. It's a little, I don't know, you can't really see it. See where you got those different pulses right there? That's that division. See where it's... Okay, that's the most significant bit, or least significant bit. There's the second one. third one, and least significant bit. That counter's counting good. Let's move on to the next. Okay, this is the least significant bit of that count. I want to look at the load pin. Okay. You see how you have those areas right there? Let's go back to the least significant bit. See how you have those right there? Those little divisions? That's what I'm trying to explain. When that's high, this is where load's high. So this is counting, and then load goes low and it resets and it resets a new value. This is bit 1. You can see that's where that load is going down. So even though this doesn't look right, it is right. This is the only part you're looking at right here. That's the only part you want to look at, because it's when the load pin is high. See? Same thing. That's where the load pin is going like this. I mean, I guess I could have. And there's the most significant bit. And that's where the load pin, the load line goes low, and then goes high, and then goes low, and goes high. So this counter, these two counters are fine. I guess I'll move on. I'm going to move on. I want to do these muxes. I'm going to check these muxes out. Okay, I have been doing some testing on chips. The two 161s right here and here checked out okay. I looked at the 86 right here and it was okay. These two muxes, a 158 and a 157, those are both okay. And I had seen, before I washed this, somebody had circled this in like a white chalk or something, but that chip's fine. This 00 NAND gate checked out fine. Those were kind of providing control lines for these muxes and stuff like that. But I got looking up here. Look at that. That looks like a burn mark or extreme heat or something. I really think it is. It's like kind of bulged right there. And I got to thinking about, I mean, the ghosts and Miss Pac-Man look kind of blocky. Don't look right. Graphics data problem. The 8 bits that come out of this, data bits, that come out of these two ROMs, they go into these two 194s, 4 bits apiece, and they get shifted. I'm going to kind of move my finger along this chip and watch the screen. See it? See that? That was this one right here. I'm going to pull, I might pull all 3 of these and check the board. Make sure it's okay right there. Hopefully I don't have to do any trace repair or anything. It's probably just this counter, or this shifter's bad. I think this shifter's no good. I think that's the whole problem right there. So I'm gonna pull these, and I'm gonna look at the what the hell did that? That is like a heat burn, like a hot air soldering station, maybe. Too much heat. I don't know. That is definitely a heat blister right there on the board. Yeah. Alrighty. And I'm back checking out this Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man PCB. And I'm probing a 157 mux. And it's nice because this mux is always enabled. Pin 15 is tied low, which means I don't have to mess with that on my scope. I'm probing the select line, and pin 2 is the 0 when it selects 0. Pin 3 is when it selects 1, and then 4 is the output. So here, the yellow up top is the select line. The second line, the light blue line, is data coming in on the 0 pin. And the third line, the purple one, is always tied high. So basically, when this thing goes up and selects 1, which is this guy right here, this should just stay high. And then when it's selecting 0, it should be pulsing. It should be sending what's on the 0 line to the output. And you can see right here, this is floating. The output's floating. There's no output to this mux. Let's probe the other parts to this mux, just for fun. The output is 7, and we'll move this to 6 and this to 5. Okay, wait for this to stop. Okay, now see. Okay, it's selecting 0, which is this high line, and it's staying high until it selects 1, which is this purple line, and it sends what's on 1 to the output. So you can see this is working. Let's move to the next one. Okay, the next output is pin 9. And the 0 line is going to be light blue is 11. And then we'll put this one on pin 10. Okay, hit sample. Okay, it's selecting 0 the whole time, but pretty much the same. Okay, select 0, so it's going to send 0 down. This is all 0. I want to see when it selects 1. So let's do this. Source is channel 1 on the edge. Seems to be always selecting 1. There we go. It selects 1 right here, so we've got 0 going down to the output, which is this pulsing, and then it goes up to 1, which it gets this big pulse, and then it goes back to 0. So this one's working. And let's check out the last one. The last one, okay. The light blue will be the 0 line, which is 13. No, 14. And the 1 line. Sorry. Is 13 with the output on 12. All right. I'll wait for this to hit a high pulse on the select. So we got 0 going down to the output. Now we got 1 going to the output, and then it goes back to 0. Now this one seems to be working too, but the 1 is completely dead. The fourth pin 4 output was completely dead. So and all those inputs to this mux is basically off these 194s, so the 194s are okay. It's this 157 that's dead. You can, I'll put my logic probe on. Now pin 4 is pulsing. How weird is that? Pin 4 is now pulsing. It was floating. Now that is on the output at pin 4 now. So let's do it again. Let's hook back up. There's your select line. Light blue will be 0 input. This pink lead will be the 1 input, which is always tied high, and then output. See, now there it goes. It's right back to floating. When I'm hooked up to it, it kills it. Now it's just dead again. Yeah, that's bad. That mux is dead. So I'm going to replace that. The mux has been removed. The bad dead mux 157. Put it in my little IC tester here. And not found. Not found means no good. Or you can just go to 157 and hit enter, fault. So there you go. Dead. Garbage. Okay, I removed the 157. And it looks good. There's no broken traces or nothing, but that is weird. I wonder what got at that. Is that it's bubbled up right there. But it's okay. There's no traces that are busted. So I'll put a new 157 in there and should be good to go. Got the new mux in, 74 LS 157. There she is. Nice and perfect. So let's go ahead and hook up my little alligator clip dealy here and start a game. And sounds wonderful. Sounds wonderful, looks perfect. 8E. What is it? 14? Alright. Boy, 12, I think. 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 is coin. 14 and 4. Uh-oh, that restarted it. I always forget what these are. 4, 14, 6, I think. And that restarted it. So it ain't 6. No, that was 7. Duh. Alrighty, let's try it again. 8E. 6. Okay, yep, there's right. And let's try 4. 4 is left. And I think up was 11 or 12? No, 14. That's down. 12 is coin. 10? 14. I think it's 10. I think 10 is up. I'm not sure. And let's go with 14 is down. Yeah, 10 is up. So those all work. Goodness, I need to write that down. 10 is up. 14 is down. And then 4 and 6 are the other two directions. All right. Well, I'm going to let this one sit here and run for about 5 hours just to make sure that it stays just like this.